Want to thank you guys for joining us on the Super Trucker Podcast. As always, please make sure you leave any comments or suggestions in the below so we can do future content for that. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Christian.
Thank you, Mike. How's everything today?
It's been a week, man. I'm not gonna lie. We've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of obstacles, but we fought through them, and we did our best. And I feel like I feel good. And in a week, I feel proud about the way the weeks went, and feel like we've had a lot of success.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Today's topic is going to be, let's just kind of dive in. It's we're going to discuss owner-operator versus dispatcher, perhaps in a positive note.
Okay.
This is nothing negative. We're never here to promote negativity. It's just
absolutely.
Obstacles, challenges, and opportunity. So there's, through friction, there's always growth. So that's kind of
iron sharpens iron. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just on a personal level, something that does bother me is when you see owner operators and dispatchers getting into the business and failing.
Yeah.
And now let me tell you why that bothers me. The main reason that bothers me is because most of the time it is completely avoidable.
Yeah, I mean it really is. I mean, and it's a sad to see failure when it was avoidable. When someone's actions led to that could have been changed. So
right, and so then it becomes simple, right? Because it's easy to do the blame game. It could be, I got into the business and the market was this, or I got into the business. It's just either the market, the timing, anything. It's easy to cast blame on that and just, and let that ride. But through, like we just mentioned, I think through friction is growth.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons two reasons that I believe that failure will exist or happens is because there's a misconception of the required amount of effort that will be taken.
You mean this takes work?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Surprisingly,
All right.
It's going to take
on both parts, because like you said today, this is not for just owner operators. This is for dispatchers too, and so.
And that's exactly to my point. So some challenges will be the same, right? Yeah. Some challenges are shared. Some challenges are completely different. But nevertheless, the cohesiveness has to exist for success to be there.
And do you feel like some of them are actually non-existent but created in our mind?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's some of the hardest ones. Some of the hardest hurdles to overcome is the ones that we've created for ourselves.
And that's what happens, right? Sometimes we start to operate in a distorted reality, and then our rationalization is going to be different. And again, this is not strictly devoted to owner operators are making this mistake.
No, not at all. Because I can tell you on the operational side with the dispatchers, a lot of that same mentality can move in and spread like a cancer amongst you with this thought process. Things we create, issues that we create, not being able to overcome these things. I've always been told that someone's perception is their true reality. And that's a hurdle that's very difficult to overcome. But it can be overcome. So
exactly, the minute we realize that someone's success doesn't necessarily mean that equation that will be your success. You have to dig in a little bit and find out what works for the individual, whether it's the dispatcher identifying, obviously there's a formula to it, right? That they're going to be coached on and mentored on. But it's how he puts his spin on it, how the finesse is there. There's a lot of factors that we can't control. But the one thing that we can't do is, let's say, follow the masses. Right? Because the masses doesn't necessarily mean that those masses are going and heading towards the right direction.
That's true.
Because that might be 95% of the crowd going that way, but 5% are extremely successful.
Yeah.
So where are those guys going? How do they operate? Which kind of leads me to, it's no secret, everybody, this industry has a very high turnover rate.
It does, yeah.
And so with that said, then it implies that there's plenty of movement, but just movement doesn't necessarily mean progress.
Yeah, it's not. Movement doesn't equate to success always. Absolutely. I mean, it can take yourself from one situation to the next. It could, but it doesn't always mean that.
Right. So you are, at the end of the day, you're an independent contractor.
Yeah.
You are independently responsible for your success.
For yourself, yeah.
It's not going to matter what the rate per mile was, they're dropping hook to this, to that. Yep. It's going to be taking ownership at what you can control and how you're going to navigate in these waters. I mean, there's always going to be there's a lack of confidence, right? Where sometimes we're calling places, whether the dispatcher's looking to work somewhere else, and when I mean lack of confidence is because he wants a guarantee. What kind of work can I offer the drivers? Is it going to be something that's gravy? Is it year round? Will it be easy for me to sell the product?
So you're suggesting that there's people out there that want all the hard work done for them before they even enter the arena?
Well, I didn't say that. You said that.
I did. I did that because, as humans, we think that way. It's what's easiest for me. What's already been done for me. And if that happens for you anywhere in life, no matter trucking, any industry, you're the only one that's going to suffer from that work being done for you at the end of the day is you. Because you're not going to be any sharper. You're not going to have gone through the things that went wrong. I find that the guys that's been through the hellfire, came through on the other end, that's your kind of guy that's like, man, this guy, he's sharp. He knows how to handle the situations when they arrive because he's seen it, been there, done that. And I think that it's really, even though it's hard and you got to get through the nitty gritty, but you go through it, you keep on fighting. And when you come out on the other side, I think you come out a better person.
Exactly, and I definitely agree with that. And so then again, we have the lack of confidence, right? So that's number one. Then number two, unfortunately, there's going to exist lack of effective guidance because not everybody's going to share the same mentality or has the same end game as you do. The financial goals, the personal goals, and so forth. So there are bad coaches. So be sure to not select. When you're choosing a mentor in this industry.
That's an important point. Yeah.
You got to do some vetting. You got to see where they came from or consider the source because there is a better way. Not necessarily is it that that their struggles will be your struggles.
Yeah.
So that's
what's their plan. I mean, and sometimes you can judge a mentor by what they see in the now and what they see in the to come. And if the now sounds great, but the to come doesn't exist in their mind, then how can they lead you somewhere? How can a leader lead you somewhere when they don't know where they're going? And that's a big concern. You know what I mean? In choosing a mentor, choosing a leader, make sure you have someone that has drive, but make sure you're working with someone that has a vision. That forward thinking,
and that's in a future podcast we will talk about that in depth. Because that in itself needs its own time frame for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't get caught up in the sauce is what I think we call it or whatnot. But it's important. So a lot of this too, there will be the ownership of you have to try to figure this out. You have to try to figure it out on your own. And the only way to do that is collecting information, digesting that information successfully.
Which is so much easier nowadays, too. We really lose the excuse of not being able to help ourselves. I'm not asking you to go to a library, pull a book out this thick, and fan through 900 pages to find your vision. You know what I mean? We have outlets like podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, all multimedia. There's all these options where there are people who have done some of the work for you. They've already put the legwork in. Someone like yourself that's been in the industry for a long time, seen it, been there, done that. You've been through that hellfire and made it out on the other side. So you can share some war stories that you've got experience in it. You know what I mean? I've seen things. I've been through things that I can share, and it's not knowledge to be bottled up and no, it's not for. We're trying to share it. It's free knowledge that we're trying to give out and say, hey guys, we've been through it. Learn from our experiences. This is what we've experienced. Comment below if you've got some experiences too. We welcome it. This is not a hey, you do it my way, the highway type thing. This is just one person and another person's point of view from the experiences that they've had in life and in this industry that maybe someone out there can absorb like a sponge, be effective, and kind of already did a lot of that legwork for them. So it's an opportunity, but still, even at that point, if they don't take it and they don't use it and they don't utilize it. You know what I mean?
And then, and so that's kind of what we'll wrap this one up is because we're focused on that. When choosing that mentor, look for certain traits: longevity at the company, success in maintaining of that truck. Is he a job hopper? Is he not? So consider your source.
Sure.
I guess, and even for the dispatcher, how longevity there, success rate on his board, how many drivers, how many drivers leave him, because the turnover rate number just, that exists in this industry as it is.
On the flip side, don't be shy of some dispatcher. new to the business, because sometimes he's not been corrupted. You know, the old, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes these guys come in with fire and with passion, and they're ready to roll, and they're eager, they're hungry, and they're ready to learn. They're soaking it up on their end. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I think for you to make a good judge of character, you need to get to know somebody a little bit, spend a little bit of time with them, and you can tell pretty quick, is this a person that has drive? Is this a person that has my best interest at heart? Or is this a person that's just here as another job?
And to reiterate on that, when you enter a business and you're stepping into that, and you've opened the company, or even the dispatcher. Let's go back to your dispatcher story. The new guy, he's committed. And when you're committed and you come to the table with hunger, with passion, with eagerness, that relentless unwillingness that he will not fail, it's the same. Things change. The way people react to you will change.
Yeah.
So all that comes into play when he's on the phone, whether it be the brokers, the direct customers, the this, the that. More will get accomplished, and it's simply attitude.
And who's behind that dispatcher? What kind of company is behind that dispatcher? Is it a company that cares, that's invested in him? Does he have a mentor? Is there someone that's invested in him, saying, hey, you know, these are the things that you'll learn with time and experience, but, you know, I'm gonna take that fuel, that fire that you have, and behind it, I'm gonna put my experience behind it, and we're gonna run the show here. And those are all questions that anybody at any company can ask themselves right now. Am I working with a dispatcher that has that fire in his belly, who is ready to go to bat for me, who will fight for me? And as a driver, we can ask ourselves, do I have that same fire? Do I have that same drive? Or am I buying a truck and just trying to run my own show here, and I'm not putting forth the effort? Their effort will reflect in their results on both ends. So this is not a one-sided story. This is not a one-way street. It is a two-way street. It is dispatcher versus owner-operators that come together, unite as a team, come together, and are they both putting forth the effort? One account holds the other to be accountable. If I have a dispatcher that is got the fire in his belly, he's fighting for it, and a driver that's not so much, I don't give up. We just keep on fighting because we want that fire to spread.
That's right. Complaciveness is not an option.
No, absolutely not.
Not in this industry. There's just no room for it.
No.
That's just.
So, with that being said, as always, we thank you for watching the Super Trucker Podcast. We hope any of this information has been helpful for you. Please like, share, subscribe. Click the bell icon so you get notified of any future content. Leave some comments below. We'd love to hear from you and your thoughts and maybe some of your experiences. Look forward to talking to some of you in the future. And as always,
drive safe
and keep on trucking. Thanks for watching the Super Trucker Podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you get notified of all new content. And as always, keep on trucking.